Right, welcome to Guitar Stuff Studio. Today I am joined by a very, very, very special guest, Tony Romaine. How's it going, Tony?
It's going good, mate. Things are looking up.
Good, glad to hear it. For those of you that saw the video I made about Tony, it was a couple of months ago now. Basically, I found out about Tony through, I think it was the Ultimate Guitar website. And Tony, I discovered had a stroke and had kind of taught himself to play guitar again. I made a video about Tony, and a few of you have asked me some questions about it. So I reached out to Tony, and he's super, super kindly agreed to come and have a chat with me today. So thanks from me and everyone who watches this, Tony. Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. I mean, talking
So,
about guitars is not really a hardship for me, mate.
no, we'll probably be here all day. So yeah, Tony, tell us a bit about yourself, and what you were doing before you had a stroke, what happened, and just tell us everything about yourself, mate.
Yeah. Well, before I had the stroke, I was basically just playing around pubs and stuff. Just myself and an acoustic guitar. When I had the stroke, I literally couldn't walk. I couldn't speak. I couldn't even sit up in bed. I couldn't swallow, or I couldn't even pee. It was like I had tubes coming in and out of me everywhere. Couldn't speak. I had to deal with a speech and language therapist for months, which she was absolutely lovely, by the way. Just, I don't mean deal with her. That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
No, I did that, and my voice has come back somewhat. It's nowhere near what it was before, but it's coming. It's getting better all the time.
Awesome.
Um,
What kind of stuff were you playing? You know, when you said you were playing around the pubs and you were doing it with an acoustic. What kind of stuff were you doing? Was it originals or covers or a bit of
no,
a
I
mix?
was maybe I would chuck an original in now and then, but it was all stuff that people wanted to hear in pubs.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think
Africa,
sometimes with
like
stuff like that, you've just got to play to the crowd, haven't you?
you have to. People just are not interested, especially after they've had a few beers. They want something they can sing along with.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've been sober nearly 8 years now, so it's been a while since
Mm.
since I've been in a pub. So how long ago was it that you actually had the stroke?
It
From now,
was almost 3 years ago. It was August 22.
I don't know why I was expecting you to say it was a lot longer. Because of how far you've come.
Mm.
So in the space of 3 years, you've managed to overcome all the tubes, sitting up on your own, breathing by yourself, speaking, and
Well,
teaching
all the
yourself.
tubes and stuff were dealt with within the first couple of months
Yeah,
at the hospital. Um, but yeah, it's really since then, since coming home, the first thing I did was, how am I going to play this guitar?
was that one of the first things you
Yeah.
thought of? Because that was going to be
Well,
one of my questions.
when I was in the hospital, back even on day one in the ICU, it was, I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do this.
That's the thing, man. Because I mean, like I say, I've got a fantastic little community of
Mm.
people who are just obsessed with guitar. I mean, some of them have only been playing a year, some of them have been playing 50 years, and um,
Yeah, yeah.
I think non-guitar players don't actually appreciate how much playing the instrument means to you. You
Oh,
know,
definitely.
irrespective of what level you're at. You
Mm.
could be a grade A shredder, or somebody who's just learning their first pentatonic lick,
Yeah, of
and yeah, I mean, like, usually with me, the first thing I think about when I wake up in the morning is guitar. um and I work for myself, and I mean, I'm fortunate in that respect, but I mean, I'm always trying to figure out ways of sneaking a bit of practice in here,
yeah,
or
yeah.
so yeah, I think I would have probably been the same. So I mean, obviously you had a lot of stuff to overcome before Um, Sorry, I keep looking at your Led Zeppelin poster there behind
Yeah.
you. I mean, obviously, you had a lot of stuff to overcome before you could start thinking about playing guitar again. So, I mean, what? I obviously had a bit of time to think about it as well.
Well, yeah, I was in the hospital for 7 months.
Oh man,
I was I was glad to get out at the end, but um, yeah, I had a lot of time to think and a lot of time to read, and I had a laptop there. I would play about with mixing old stuff that I'd done and just anything I could, just to get music back in this head.
yeah, just to still be involved with it. So,
Yeah, of course.
right, we'll ask. Get into the nerdy kind of stuff now. What guitars do you prefer using?
Um, I prefer my Fender Telecaster,
Is
just
that
an American standard.
American Standard? I
Yeah,
love tellies. I like the Mexican ones. I don't know why I've never
yeah,
got on. I never got on with the American ones, but the
no,
Mexican ones with the maple necks, absolutely
yeah,
love
yeah.
them. Have you had to do anything to the guitar then to, help make it more playable for you? Then,
I really haven't. I mean, apart from putting it into a great guitar tech that's here in Inverness, and get them just to set it up as well as possible. And
yeah,
I use eights now. I've never used eights in my life.
you're.
It's
I had
just
a no. Seriously, I'm a light string convert.
yeah, yeah.
I was even on sevens last year for a little
Wow.
while.
I didn't
Yeah,
even know sevens were a thing.
I couldn't get on with them, to be honest. They were
No.
just a bit too light. It was one
Yeah,
of
yeah.
those where I was playing it, but and it sounded okay, but you couldn't feel the strings under your fingers at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially on the top three. So it was like I went back to eights, and then when I'm playing heavier stuff, nines. So we're in the light string club, man. So actions set as low as possible,
Yeah.
light strings.
Light strings.
Um, so what do you use? Talk me through your signal chain. What
Um
effects or do you use
well,
any?
I'm using at the moment I've got a Boss ME80, the pedal board. It's going through amp simulator, which I've got set on a tweed, and then it's got a bit of EQ and compression, bit of modulation and delay. That's it.
Yeah, the ME8. I've never had the ME80. I've had the GT8 and the
Yeah, yeah.
GT5. Absolutely. I mean, it was only up until last year I stopped using them. I've still got them somewhere. I
Mm.
couldn't bring myself to get rid of them. Is that something you've always used then, or is that something that you've started using recently?
No, I've only started using it recently. I really just used individual pedals in the past, and I still do. I got this, a friend of mine I actually met when I was in hospital. His wife was actually in hospital. She had a stroke as well. And I ended up getting quite friendly with him. And he's a great guy, a musician. And he was like, "Oh, I'm getting this new Boss pedal board. I thought you would appreciate the old one." And I certainly
Oh
did.
wow! So prior to using the ME80, were you kind of just a pedals guy then, or
Yeah, it was just individual pedals.
have you got any thoughts on all these fancy new processors and amp simulators and everything that are out there?
Um, I'm not that keen on them, to be honest. But
I've
not saying they're a bad thing.
No, it is each to their own. I mean, I got one of the Tonex amplitubes last
Okay, yeah,
year,
yeah.
um, and it's a lot of fun, and I've
Mm,
got processors and everything, and I don't know why I keep just gravitating back towards pedals
yeah,
at
yeah.
at the moment. There's just I don't know. Maybe it's our age that we're still kind of stuck in the
I
past
think
with
that's
pedals.
very possible.
What about amps then, Tony?
Um,
What do you use?
to be honest, I haven't used an amp that much. I just have my board going straight into the PA. But I often use, when I do use an amp now, I've got like a Marshall acoustic amp. It's the AS100.
Is that the brown one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
one. And I actually find that using my Telecaster through that is such a clean sound. There's no coloration at all.
yeah.
So it's great just to pedalboard on that.
Yeah, to be honest, the clean sound from a Telecaster is
Yeah.
it's something else. It's unbeatable. I mean, I'm more of a Strat guy. I'm playing a lot heavier stuff at
Mm.
the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is my main guitar at the moment. My Hello Kitty
Cool.
Stratocaster. That was it. It was an impulse buy last year, and I kind of bought it as a bit of a joke, and I've kind of like really fallen in love with it. So that's what I use now. So I've watched a few of your videos on YouTube, uh,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it seems that a lot of what you play is kind of like tapping based.
There is a lot of that involved. Um,
Um, was that something that you thought consciously about, or
yeah, I mean, I was just thinking about doing stuff with one hand. What's the easiest thing to do? And as
yeah? I
long
mean,
as I'm using open strings as much as possible, tapping is quite simple.
what tuning do you what do you use? Any
It's
particular
just
tune?
regular tuning, mate.
Just E standard.
Yeah, I
Have you,
usually play with a capo on about the eighth fret, just
uh,
because it's so hard to reach all the way up here.
Yeah. does does the I mean, obviously, yeah, the capo makes it a bit easier.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so when you're composing stuff, when you're thinking up songs and
Mm.
everything, um, is that kind of your main consideration? Is that you kind of need to be on that bit of the fretboard there?
I yeah, I generally stay around that area.
And how do you? Because I mean, obviously, before it would have been chords and melodies and
Mm.
everything. Do you find now that this has kind of opened up a whole new way of composing for you and maybe brought out a bit of creativity that you might have not had before?
I think definitely, yeah. I think limitations help creativity so much.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, the way you're playing now is not something that
Mm.
um, I would probably sit down and say, right, I'm gonna compose a piece here. It's going to incorporate a lot of tapping, and I'm going to be on that
Yeah.
that that part of the fretboard. So, what's kind of like your process for coming up with licks or songs and stuff?
Um. Well, mainly so far, I've just taken cover songs and reinvented them basically because it's less to think about than trying to write stuff. I mean, I have written, but I generally don't yet. I want to improve more.
Yeah,
Um, but I mean, chords,
I
just
mean,
any
even
kind of
even
rhythm.
reinventing a song, those
Yeah,
especially with the way you play as well. It's pretty much
mm,
tantamount to writing a song.
yeah, of course.
Um, So would you mind giving us a bit of a demo of like how you're playing the different techniques that you use when you're playing?
Yeah, of course. I mean, just using one hand. I mean, it's like so much of it is you've got to have some sort of rhythm. But basically, open, you can play an E minor just by playing that. You could also play a G just by playing that. Well, it's not. It's up on the eighth fret, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, then you add some. We're taking away the moments that make up a dull day. Frittering waste your hours in offhand way. Kicking around on a piece of ground in your hometown. waiting for someone or something to show you the way. Tired of lying in the sunshine, staying home to watch the rain. You are young and life is long, and there is time to kill today. And then one day you'll find 10 years you've got behind you. No one told you where to run. You missed the starting gun.
That's amazing. Absolutely
But some of
amazing.
those chords, they're. I barely use more than two fingers to play a chord. So I have a lot of notes in there which really shouldn't be. I just have to
It's
pick and choose the ones that sound okay.
it's still a really full sound though.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I had a little spell last year. I was like trying to get into tapping and stuff, and
Mm.
I was terrible at it. I'll hold my hands up straight away and say I was awful at it. But it was
Mm.
a lot of fun. Um, but I thought to myself, you know yourself when you play something and it doesn't sound good.
Yeah, yeah.
If it doesn't sound good to your ears, then it's probably not going to sound. And I found when I was tapping that it sounded very empty and reedy, and I tried it with loads of effects and stuff. But
Yeah.
I mean, what you've managed to do there, just with the notes that you choose.
Mm.
I mean, obviously the effects that you've got on and everything have just, it's just sounded so full. That's absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, I definitely use effects a lot more now than I used to.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with using a ton of effects. I use a ton of effects, but that's
Yeah.
mostly because I suck at guitar, and
I'm sure you don't.
I, I think they make me sound better. But honestly, it just sounded great, and it just goes to show that just choosing the right notes. It doesn't
Mm.
have to be a lot going on, but just choosing the right couple of notes can um, really make it sound nice and
Yeah,
full.
yeah.
So what have you got planned for the future with everything, Tony?
Um, my main objective now is to try and raise awareness for stroke and to raise money for stroke charities. So gigs from now on, I haven't made anybody since this stroke for myself at all. I'm just doing it all for chest, heart, and stroke and various charities like that.
So have you got any gigs coming up, Tony, or
The
anything?
next one I've got is 23rd of August. So
What whereabouts is that?
that's the Castle Tavern in Inverness.
Oh,
I
I'm gonna
used
have
to
to come
play
up
there.
to Inverness one weekend.
I used to play there literally every week. I was a resident musician. The last gig I did was the day before the stroke there. And this will be the first one I've done there since. And
That's
it's
that.
almost exactly 3 years since the day of the stroke.
That's absolutely crazy. I mean, what kind of support network do you have there, Tony? Do you have anybody that helps you with stuff, or is there
I'm
anybody you'd
very,
like to give a bit of a shout out to?
I'm very lucky to have people that are here on my side. Um, I would say that that video, Standing Stone, where I play the guitar with one hand in the studio, the guys that played with me, they were amazing. The guy, Steve Bull, he produced and engineered that, and what a job he did. The drummer, Connor Meeks, as well, brilliant. And they
That
were
is,
just all on for helping me get back to what I'm wanting to do.
yeah. I'll leave some links to Tony's channel in the description of this video, and you can go and check his music out. So Tony, I mean, I feel like an asshole saying this. I mean, I've got arthritis in my fingers now,
Mm,
so I've had to kind of change the way I play up a bit. But I mean, compared to what you've been through, it's absolutely nothing. Um, what advice, or have you got anything that you'd like to say to people who have they've had to stop playing.
Yeah.
Not just guitar, but any instrument. They've had to
Mm.
stop playing because of some, health issues or whatever. But they would like to get back into it. Have you
I
got any
think
advice for people?
really, if you can't do what you originally did, try and find something else
Yeah,
similar. I mean, if you can't play guitar anymore, you used to, try and do it slightly differently or go on a synth or something else.
yeah.
I mean, I play synth a bit now with one hand, but it's not a guitar, so
I
there's
think
no way
most
I'm just going to go for
guitarists play synth with one hand anyway. It's
yeah,
all they
yeah.
can manage. So yeah, you're not doing any worse than anybody out there. Have you got any plans for any releases or anything in the future, Tony?
There
Any
is an
albums or
album in the
EPs?
works. There is an album in the works. I'm not exactly sure when it's going to be because I want to wait until my voice is a bit better
Yeah.
because it is
Um,
improving all the time.
yeah, I mean, obviously, you said you'd lost your voice and everything.
Mm.
What have you done to, try and get your voice back, or is it just something that you have to exercise or work
I
out?
just exercise it all the time. There's not a day where I don't sit there and warm up and do scales, and then it's practice all the songs again. And I say that like it's boring. It's not boring. I love this stuff.
I mean, it's honestly, it's just so heartwarming to see somebody who's, um, you've come up against something, and you've got something that you're passionate about, and it's like, right, God damn it, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to do it in some way, shape,
Yeah.
or form. And I think that I don't know. It's just so inspirational, mate. And um, one of the reasons that I wanted to chat to you and have other people see is because I do know people that struggle with things.
Yeah.
Be it that they've started later in life or they're having some health issues and they just feel like giving up. And
Mm.
um, I think sometimes it just takes a bit of a kick in the ass and say, look, this guy, he's doing
Mm.
it, and but I don't know. I think it's hard to explain to people who aren't musicians, like how much music can get you through stuff.
I really can. It got me through those first days so much, and I knew fine I was going to do it. I didn't at the time really connect it with raising awareness for stroke and raising money, but I kept my Facebook page open after I had the stroke just so I could document my journey and see how far I'd come since I had the stroke. But it was really good for that. But then I started seeing I was getting more followers who were interested in this sort of thing. I'm thinking, this is helping some people, so I've got to carry on doing this. I'm
Yeah,
going to do it. I'm going to raise awareness and raise some money with my old Telecaster.
absolutely, man. Well,
Nice way to do
listen,
it.
I will spread the word as best I can. We'll get as many people involved, and we'll try and help you out as much as possible.
Yeah, yeah.
From guitar stuff, studio, and I mean, honestly, I'm sure all my little community will be absolutely stoked. To see this video because I mean, I talk to a lot of guitarists, and and it's just so nice, because I mean, when I speak to people, it's like, what guitars do you use? What strings do you use? What effects do you
Mm.
use? Like, and it's just great to hear something different from somebody, and it just be so positive, mate. So listen, thank you so much.
Well,
Um,
thank you so much.
no,
More
honestly,
people that
thank you
hear
so
this,
much.